Hello, I am coming to you from Floripa, the last Sunday of 2024, my last weekend on this magical island with this transmission for you around embodying regenerative wealth and stretching your nervous system to be able to hold and steward and receive and release in a relationship with life that is regenerative. And I've been in such a wild portal right now during my time here, and so there's just so much that I've been channeling, and a lot of which is I'm going to be sharing with you inside of Watch Me Rise. January 8th is when we kick off for Watch Me Rise. So if you're not yet inside, you can click the link below this transmission and join us for that 3-day activation expansion portal. And the juice that I'm going to be sharing with you today has been so pivotal for me and for my clients in rising through the ways that our conditioning and our programming and the constructs that we have in our mind, and more importantly in our bodies, in our nervous system, have created a relationship with life where we're resisting the natural flow of life. And a huge part of regenerative wealth and wild overflow that comes from the inside out, from your nervous system out, is that it is allowing for you to be in a radically revolutionary relationship with life that is unfamiliar and uncomfortable than the life that you know right now. And this is what has taken my clients to entirely new levels of wealth that is in lived quality of life. So this is beyond money and is within money, because money is a part of it. It's within and beyond money to anchor your nervous system into a relationship with life where it is giving you just as much as you are giving to it, in a way that is cyclical, in a way that is full of reciprocity, full of generosity, full of richness and goodness, and the full spectrum humanness. And this last week is just such a beautiful example of this. So I want to bring in some stories of the way that the universe, God, Mother Earth, Spirit have been working with me, through me, and beyond me in these pretty miraculous happenings that I find to be such beautiful, like glimmers is one of the words that we use in this world, of these hints of miracle, of magic, of something that is just so powerful that we can't plan for, because the nervous system wants to be able to hold on to control. So it will look to the past to try and create a future that is based off of the past, because that's what feels familiar and expected or comfortable. Or it will project into the future, and so your mind or your body will have a sensation or a thought or a belief that's based off of a future that doesn't even exist. A lot of the time with people who are hard workers, who are used to conditions where it's like stress and overload and pushing yourself too far, the future that is projected unconsciously comes from that expectation, because it is what your body has been accustomed to, right? But the biggest liberation that happens in regenerative wealth is when your nervous system can get to play in the space of the unknown. So it is not basing the present based off of what has happened in the past. And it's not future tripping. It's not jumping into a future projection of something that's not even real based off of what it expects from the past. And so to come into this place of presence with life, with money, with leadership, while rising into the biggest version of your leadership is a key to opening up and allowing for universe, God, spirit, Mother Earth to support you in ways that are beyond your imagination. So some examples of how this has been experienced in this past week for me. I came into this really beautiful land, the magic island of Floripa, which I want to keep a secret because it's just it's such a gem. But I'm sharing it with you because I love you. And I came here with some intentions of being in surrender, of being in magic, of being connected to myself, to my body, to my gifts, to people here, to connect with community, to be in my vocal expression. I love to sing, so I really wanted to be singing and jamming with people, and to deepen in my work. Like, those were some of my high intentions. And a version of myself that loves to plan and loves to organize and loves to create structure had a whole day planned, and there was an intuitive nudge within me to let go of my plan and to go on a date with myself, just to take myself out on a date to celebrate my extraordinary client results and the growth of this year. It's been such a massive growth year, like internally, externally, just massive quantum growth. And one of the things that I love to really invite you all into is to celebrate yourself in ways that feel edgy or that feel juicy, or to take yourself out in ways that you feel like you're honoring and acknowledging yourself in any way that feels good for you. And so for me, I found this cute little restaurant. I took myself out on this date, and I end up connecting with the manager who comes and checks up on me. We have some small talk, and I was saying how I'm really calling in community and adventure and people that speak English here that I can connect with. And there is no way I would have known this, but I chose to go to that exact restaurant where this particular person happened to be super plugged in to exactly those things. And I wound up being invited into a gorgeous horse ride, full moon experience along the beach. And it felt like I was in a whole different world because it was just so mystical and full of awe and beauty. And so there's this huge blue moon, and I'm a huge bright moon, and I'm riding the horse, and I'm hearing the ocean waves and having this moment of, wow, the reason that I'm experiencing this right now is because as soon as I chose to let go of the control that I thought I needed to have over the container of time that I was structuring within that particular day, because some days I love being structured, some days there gets to be the fluidity and there gets to be the free flow, right? But it was being at the exact right time, at the exact right place, that led me to being here. And that's my philosophy, that's my belief with life in general, that I'm always at the right place at the right time, and I make the big moves that allow for me to expand in my capacity to experience life in its absolute fullness. And I choose to relate to money in this way. And I choose to relate to how I invest my time and my energy and my resources in this way. That full moon horseback ride was the best full moon experience of my entire existence. That led to me being invited into this really beautiful gathering of humans, and people brought their instruments, and I ended up being in a group of really incredible people, and we were jamming, and I was singing with these people that I just met, that I was feeling the soul connection with. It's like, oh, wow, this is so rich. Like, this is exactly what I was desiring, but I couldn't have planned it for myself. I couldn't have in my mind saying, this is going to happen at exactly this time, at exactly this place. I'm going to end up in a room full of soul family singing my heart out, even though that's exactly the experience that I was calling in when I got here. And this has happened time and time and time again since I've been here, and in my life in general. Another example, I was at a cafe. I just happened to be at this cafe, and I heard some people speaking, and they were speaking English, which isn't as common as speaking in Portuguese here. And so my ears perked up and I got excited, and I went in to the conversation in a very nonchalant, hey, you speak in English. I like to speak English. I don't even remember what I said, but I was really happy that they spoke English. And I ended up hitting it off with them. And from there, they invited me to this gathering. And I ended up at this waterfall, white water rafting experience. And it's just full on jungle, lush gorgeousness. And I love adventure. I love being active in my body. I love moving my energy in this way. And I love different kinds of ways to connect to nature that allow for that to happen. And so white water rafting is one of my joys in life. And I ended up, again, I didn't know that was going to happen. I wasn't looking and researching and trying to find out, what are some physical activities I can do out in nature with groups of people who also are adventurous and who appreciate, it's like I ended up there because I was at the right time, at the right place, and I had surrendered my control over what I thought should happen or what I thought I need to make to happen. And all of this is really coming from this place of safety in surrendering to the unknown and your nervous system's ability to feel not just safety, really, it's courage. Because the truth of the matter is that it doesn't feel safe a lot of the time, right? And this might be unique to you. For you, there's certain things that feel really safe, right? So let's say you're someone who you've made $50,000 investments before. So that feels safe for you. It doesn't feel like it's an edge for you. But maybe speaking publicly on camera to a group of hundreds and hundreds of people, sharing your heart and your truth, maybe that feels really terrifying for you, right? Which has been me in the past before it became something that, it still brings up fear, but it's not something that feels so unsafe to the point that I'm blocking my own rising from it, right? Or maybe you're someone who you've been in different coaching containers before, you've been in masterminds before, you've been devoted to your self expansion work and your nervous system work in your business, but it feels like it's really edgy to have intimate, private support that's going to hold you in the scariest edges of you rising into your bigness, right? Like that's what it was for me in the beginning of really taking massive leaps with different kinds of containers and the different kinds of support that I was receiving. For some people, going across the world completely alone with no plan in a language that you don't know could be terrifying, right? And for me, it was scary, but it's because of the way that I have built and expanded and stretched my nervous system to be able to allow for myself to rise through the fear, to rise through the discomfort, because I know that it is in that space between where I am now and where I am desiring, that's where the magic happens, and that I am not the one who can cling and who can try and manipulate life to be to my liking. It's rather, I'm holding the highest absolute vision for myself. I'm holding the absolute highest intention for myself, and I show up for it, right? Like I didn't just show up at the cafe and say, God, please show me where these things that are going to regenerate more life, more flow, more juiciness, more richness, more creativity, more art, more spirit, more love in my life. Just show them to me, and then not do anything and then sit there and stay quiet by myself, right? What I did was I asked for those things, for spirit, from God, from universe, from Mother Earth, and I got the support to allow for it to happen. And I took the actions. In those cases, the actions was reaching out to someone and actually engaging and initiating in a conversation, right? And then from there, it continued to lead me step by step each step leading me to the next step. I didn't know 10 steps ahead. I knew what the very next step was. And that step is what took me closer and closer to the actualization of my highest desires, of how wild overflow is going to be experienced in this particular chapter of my life, which looks like how it has been looking like. It's looked like beautiful sunrise, solstice, beach, silent disco parties, like moving and dancing and just crying from joy because, oh my God, what a miracle that I just happened to be here. There's no way I would have known that this existed if not for talking to someone who we connected with, who I expressed my desire with, who then invited me into an experience that I then got to opt into and say yes to myself because I knew that that's what I wanted. And I didn't let myself hold myself back from receiving it because I rose through all of the resistance that may have held me back and kept me, let's say, sitting by myself, which I love to do, but sitting by myself at the restaurant or sitting at home or sitting at the beach or staying, this is a huge metaphor, right? Like staying where I was, essentially. The difference between people who evolve and expand massively like you because you are here and you are someone who is devoted to quantum growth throughout your entire existence in your lifetime in this body that you chose is that you're willing to continually meet the resistance and rise through it every fucking time. And you know that every time you rise through it, on the other side is something is that even better than you can imagine. And I've been experiencing miracle after miracle and blessing after blessing while living here in this particular chapter, but I mean in the greater scheme of chapter of the book of my life in general. But I'm using these examples from just this last week and a half maybe, where the synchronicities are uncanny. And I'm reading this book right now called The Surrender Experiment. I read it the first time many years ago, but I'm rereading it. And it's been blowing my mind because these concepts and these teachings that I teach you, I coach you, that I embody, that I am practicing, they go deeper and deeper and deeper as we continue to evolve in our own self-trust with life. And the nervous system, the way that the nervous system gets to expand in your capacity to surrender to what life has to give you, to surrender to what life has to offer you, to surrender to what life is inviting you into, it comes with continuing to let yourself rise through everything that is telling you or that you are believing or that you are holding in your body that's telling you to stay where you are right now, right? Because you are someone who moves. You already are in momentum right now. So the momentum that you're in right now is dependent on what feels like it's comfortable for your body. And in that momentum that your body is already in motion with right now, right? Like there's already things happening for you. You have these things in your life that you might have dreamed of experiencing 1 year ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, like who you are now, who you are embodying yourself as, the leader you have become is from months and years of you making big moves. And the greatest masterpiece of who you are and who you are to become in 2025 is from allowing yourself to let your moves be even bigger as a declaration to Spirit, Mother Earth, God, Universe, that we're just getting started. And so wild overflow from the inside out and the way that I've been experiencing this with my clients, it's something where the momentum, it builds and grows and expands so much. And that's where the wild cash flow, the wilder months, the higher months, they build and they grow and they expand, but in a way that is giving you life, right? So the way that life has been giving to me in these ways, while my business has been growing and expanding, and while I have been growing and expanding, and while my clients have been having their most easeful and pleasurable and juicy 5 and 6-figure months and multiple 6-figure quarters, first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. Like, these are the kinds of things that have expanded into their lives, in their bodies, in their nervous system, because the way that their body has grown to feel more safe and free and liberated with the presence, the freedom and the presence and the intentionality of the body, while holding the absolute highest possibility in the now, in the now, in the now. So letting the past stay in the past, letting the future stay in the future, but also holding the highest possibility, the highest timeline for right now, acting and moving from that place. If I knew this is where I'm headed, this is where I'm going, if I knew $1 million years, $1 million quarters, if I knew $100,000 quarters, $100,000 months, $100,000 days, if I knew that is where I'm going, that is what I'm calling in, and I want to do it in a way that's life-giving, in a way that's pleasurable, in a way that's juicy, not in a way that's draining, that's stressful, that's exhausting, that's taxing, that's depleting my energy, in a way that allows me to have spontaneous moonlight horse rides along the beach, to have spontaneous sunrise solstice dancing with incredible strangers, that allows me to spend a Tuesday on a hike in the jungle, and allows me to spend a Thursday jamming out and co-creating some amazing art with some amazing people, that allows me to serve my clients and my people from overflow while I'm so full, I'm so taken care of, I'm so supported, because that's the relationship that I've built with life. And that relationship with life is transferred into my relationship with money, which is transferred into my relationship with service, which is transferred into my relationship with all that is, right? You're allowing for energy to move through you in that way. And so then it's beyond the logic, right? The kinds of higher possibilities, they're beyond the logic, beyond any kind of gripping of control, beyond any kind of wanting to know that this is what's going to happen and this is when it's going to happen. It's like, no, I'm choosing to lean in and to do the fucking thing, to make the big move, because I know that when I am supported, I just take off on a whole new level. And all of Spirit, God, Source, Mother Earth, they're all conspiring to support me in my absolute highest, richest, juiciest quantum growth. And the way that regenerative, decolonial wealth supports this is by filling life with the kinds of experiences that enrich you from the inside out. The things I've been experiencing, the things that my clients are experiencing, we are liberating our lineages. This is lineage work. To be able to travel freely is something that was not available or accessible for my lineage before me. To be able to connect with Mother Earth and have the time and the space and the luxury to sunbathe naked on the ocean and play in the water, and then channel from the sand with my feet and my butt on the sand and my heart open and the sun beaming on my face, and support my clients, be working in a flow because it just turns me on. And that gets to be my office because that's where it's happening. That's where the magic and the medicine is flowing. Like, that is something that most people, that especially in my lineage, right? Like, that is not something that was available. That's not something that felt like it was accessible. And this is what I see with my extraordinary clients, with the visionary women that step into my work, who step into my private container, who step into spaces like Expand to Thrive, who step into spaces like Watch Me Rise, like the Sanctuary. Those of you who are here and you know that you're here to break through the cycles that have held back your generations before you from being able to have the liberated life that feels like it's the most supportive for your freedom and for your joy. That is why I'm here. That is why you're here. And this is where we take it to a whole new level in 2025. The sacredness of your connection to your body and your connection to community and your connection with life manifesting itself through you. It comes with the embodied wild overflow, the embodied wealth that then just reflects itself in the world that you are co-creating and that you're living. The synchronicities just become your way of life. Every connection that you create with people, with life, with the possibilities that are just available to you when you open yourself up to this, it happens through the deep nervous system expansion work. So this is my transmission for you. It came through really hot, and it's our last days of 2024. We're about to enter an entirely new revolutionary era. And there are people like you who move. And there are people like you who make big moves. And there are people who want to make big moves. And the resistance presents the opportunity to rise through the fears, the doubts, the stories, and to decide that this gets to be your divine time to thrive. Inside of Watch Me Rise, we are going to set a whole new foundation for your nervous system to get to expand into the wildest overflow in your relationship with within and beyond money, so that you can have the kinds of experiences and the kinds of richness and the kinds of depth and raw, real truth and beauty and awe and magic and miracles while your bank account and your business explode through the universe, while you're serving the most people that you're ever serving, like serving the thousands of people or the hundreds of people like my clients are serving right now, where they're having their highest cash months, their highest quarters, and they're having a blast. Their life is so full that it is regenerative. Their life force, their relationship to money, your relationship to your work, your relationship to your business, your relationship with your body is so regenerative that it's the gift that keeps giving. And if you're ready to give yourself the gift that keeps giving and dive right on in, I have space for you in my private one-on-one work, where it's the absolute best way to get the deep, intimate, personalized support with your unique nervous system. So DM me if you're feeling called for that. And I have some juicy as fuck end of year bonuses if you join and decide that you are ready to commit and to invest and to take the leap and to make the biggest move that you possibly can for yourself to rise into 2025. And we have Watch Me Rise. It's only $25 right now, and the price will 10x. So you can join us for only $25 to set a whole new standard and a whole new embodiment in your beingness, in your leadership as a wild, overflowing leader to thrive into 2025 with regenerative money and decolonial wealth. Money and energy that gives to you, that allows you to give more, that allows you to receive more, that allows you to be in the relationship with life where you're surrendering to the highest good for you and for all beings, where you're releasing control, but you're also taking the most aligned, potent, powerful actions in your bigness that's going to allow for your momentum to just be on a whole new level. So I'm so excited for you to step into these spaces. And I am sending you so much love as we close off 2024 together and as we rise into 2025 together.